Hey, I'm back here in Australia. Things haven't gone to plan. Things changed all of a sudden 2 days ago. Deb's not with me. And I thought it was important that I get on here and explain to you what's happened in our lives. Before I go on with that, let me say to you that one thing that you don't plan on organising when you go to live at Bali is the amount of times you may have to come home to Australia and the costs involved. Luckily for us, the cost isn't an issue, or it isn't a major issue. It's always an issue buying airline tickets. But I'll tell you how the events happen. We booked flights in December to come home, visit the kids, the grandkids and the dogs. And we knew we would be coming home at that time for that reason. We knew we'd be doing that maybe once, maybe twice a year. After we'd already booked the flights of December, okay, in future we will come home in the April school holidays, and I think it's September school holidays. I haven't taught for a while. I've forgotten when school holidays are now. That's a good thing. To fix that, even though we'd bought in holidays or flights in December, we've now bought flights in April, and I think we've already booked flights for September as well. So that's 3 lots of flights that we're coming back to Australia within a year. Then things go wrong. And you don't plan these things, so think ahead. These things could happen to you. My son rings up a couple of weeks ago and he says, we're going on a cruise in February and you'll have to get someone to look after the dogs because they're living in my house looking after my dogs. And I looked into it and it's cheaper for me to fly home, look after the dogs and then fly back to Bali than it is to put them into the kennel. And I don't want to put them in the dog kennels because that's just not us. So now I've got a flight booked in December with Deb. I'm coming back in February by myself, then I'm going home, then we're coming back in April, then going home, then coming back in September. So that's 4 flights that I've got to come back to Australia within the year. Then 2 days ago, my son rings up, and he wasn't talking to me, he was talking to Deb, but apparently our bedroom had flooded. So that's why I'm back in Australia. I had to immediately book a flight, come back to Australia because of the damage that's in my bedroom.
Oh my god, it is so hot in Bali at the moment. So I'm going to get this video done so I can go and jump in the pool because it is a scorcher here. Anyways, what I wanted to tell you was when you move to Bali and you live here full time, sometimes you don't think about the things that are going on at home until something happens like really quickly. For example, as you can see, Al's not here. I'm here by myself. And the reason for that is we had a flooding emergency at home. So what I needed to do was get onto the internet and book Al a flight home ASAP because our room had flooded. It's not like it's a quick fly home and it's only going to cost you like a couple $100. No. It costs thousands. Because not only are you booking your emergency airfare home, which has now gone from like $250, $300 for a flight, up to like, $800 for a flight to $1,200 for a flight, especially when you need to go straight away. So actually I had a look when I got the call to say that we had an emergency situation. And if Al was going to leave that afternoon, it was going to be like $1,200 for a one-way ticket. Not happening. That was just too expensive. So we ended up booking him the next day, which is still a lot. It's still like $800 or something, but he needed to get there. So you just need to keep that in mind that if you are living here and you've still got a property at home, things can go wrong and you need to have that money set aside just in case things like that happen.
Luckily, like I said before, I've got the finances to cover that. So consider that if you're going to live in Bali. There are times you're going to come back to Australia. Now, you could come back to Australia for multiple reasons, family illnesses. I come back for medication and medical supplies. For example, while I'm back, I've booked in to see my doctor, I'll get blood tests done, all that sort of stuff. I get my ears checked, I get my hearing aid service while I'm here, and I also get things that Deb may need back in Bali. So as I said, my room's flooded. I flew back straight away. Before I flew back, my son had got nearly all the stuff of mine out of the bedroom. We moved a lot of our stuff and stored it in our bedroom away from them to give them the space. Now, what's happened is the toilet shut-off valve didn't shut off at some stage, or something's happened to it, and the water kept filling in the cistern. And instead of going down the drain in the bathroom, the water flows out onto the carpet and into the walk-in robes and filled up the room. And we're thinking it was probably up to 3 weeks that the water was running, and it got to a stage where it was that full that it reached the drain in the bathroom where it should have gone down in the first place, and the rest of it was going down the drain. The only reason they knew that the room was flooded was because they were starting to smell that horrid smell of grey water and mildew coming out of the room. So I've come back, I finished emptying out the room.
Now that Al's back over in Australia, I've been here for a week going solo, which is quite the experience. It's very different being in Bali as a solo person rather than a couple. I don't know, it's not unsafe. It's not unsafe at all, but I just have that extra protection. Like I keep the front driveway gate closed and locked when I'm in the villa. I also keep the doors locked with the aircon on, and I'm not really sure why. I think it might just be because I'm always used to having Al there, so I don't usually think of those things. But when you're doing it by yourself, you start thinking, oh, okay, maybe I should consider safety more, even though I probably don't need it. But in saying that, I know there's like 10 workmen on the building right next to me on the villa that's getting constructed, and they all give me the wave every day when I get home from work and when I leave in the morning. So they know that I'm here by myself as well, which isn't a problem. They're all very friendly. And I'm sure if they saw something going on, they would look out for me as well, but you just never know. So anyways, that's one thing that's different when you're doing it solo. The next thing that's different is just, well, I sleep better actually, to be honest. When Al's not in the bed next to me, I actually get a good night's sleep. And that's just because I think Al wears his breathing machine, and sometimes when he rolls and faces me, that just like that blows out air. So sometimes like I could be fast asleep and then all of a sudden it's like right in my face, so I have to get like a pillow, grab a pillow and barricade it. So that wakes me up a few times a night. And I'm a really light sleeper normally, so any noises and things like that I also hear and wake up. So if he jumps up to go to the loo or get a drink or anything in the night, well then I wake up again. So I've actually had a really good sleep like this whole week. So I'm going to bed about, I don't know, 9:30 and waking up at 5:30, and yeah, I'm feeling like I don't need a nap on the lounge in the afternoon when I get home from work, which is quite unusual these days.
Sounds more like to me she's happy I'm a couple of thousand kilometres away.
Al usually, as you know from other videos, he does all the cleaning and stuff while I'm at work. So he'll do the sweeping and the mopping and I don't know, cooking, things like that. Oh, clothes washing that he does every single day, which drives me crazy that he washes every single day, because every afternoon I've got a new pile of laundry that's been folded and put on the end of the bed for me to put away. Now, it sounds stupid, but I hate that. I really hate that every single day. And I just said, Al, can you please, when you do the washing, wash just like every few days or once a week? Like, we've got heaps of clothes here. I don't have to wash every day, but that's his routine and that's how he does it. So now that he's gone, I just washed yesterday, like for a week, and I just washed one time. And I'm super happy about that because clothes washing's done, hanging out to dry, and then I'll fold it and put it all away for the week. And I don't have to do that thing every single day, which sounds like nothing, but it's a little bit annoying. He's gonna hate me for that. Oh, and he does the washing up and stuff too. So, you know, it's all those little things that when I went to sweep today, I was like, where's the broom?
Where's the broom? We've lived in Bali for 12 months.
And then I looked outside and I saw like his witch broom, the big straw one that he sweeps. I don't know, maybe he sweeps the driveway with it. I guess it's an outside broom to sweep something, but that was hanging up outside. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure he wouldn't use the witch broom inside. So anyways, I nearly had to call him to find out where he keeps the broom for inside and that sort of stuff, because he does that while I'm at work and I wouldn't even know. I just get home and it's all done. So I'm a bit spoilt that way.
Contents, building insurance. I had both. And apparently they're going to rip out all the walls up to a certain, maybe up to a metre, dry it all out, take all the carpet out. They may be pulling out all the bathroom, putting new bathrooms in, putting new doors in and all that sort of stuff. All the furniture's got to go. I'm assuming all of our clothes, which is the majority of it because we didn't take much to Bali, all of our clothes are mildewed, are going to mould and all that sort of stuff. It stinks. It absolutely stinks. So what I'm trying to say is, think of these things. I know there's a lot of expats in Bali that have sold all their things. They don't have a house. They don't have anything. They move over to Bali. I don't understand it. I take my hat off to those people because that's a big step. I know I've got security by coming back. I've got a home back here. But for someone to sell everything and go to Bali, that's a big move. I think to myself, one day you're going to get to a stage where you're going to need the medical needs that are in Australia or the pension. You have to come back. And yeah, good luck to them. Now, I've got to contribute somehow to keep our Bali lifestyle going. So I'm also an author and I've just completed my second book. And you would be really helping me out if you purchase a copy of this book right here. It's a dystopian adventure, really, and it's sort of like Game of Thrones mixed in with the Truman Show. And I think people would love to read this book, and I'm sure you'll love it too. So please support me. Grab a copy. It's on Amazon. Go onto Amazon, put in The Zoo, White Queen, and you'll find it straight away.
Oh, and the other thing, I was lucky that I've learned to ride my scooter, my little Fabio, because I've ridden to work every day and back for the last 2 weeks, and I don't even have to think about now. I'm getting better at riding between cars, and it's just so quick now for me to get to work and get home, and I love it. So I'm getting up to about, I'd say 50 k's an hour now. So it doesn't seem much, but for Bali, that's pretty standard. That's like a good speed. I'm not having people behind me like waiting to get past and all those things. So I think I'm on track with that. Still, it's a little nerve-wracking at times when I have to get across 3 or 4 lanes on the major bypass, but I'm doing it, and so far so good. So that's another thing. And like, if it was 3 weeks ago that this happened, I wouldn't even be able to get anywhere. Now I can. So now I can just ride up to the grocery store or ride up to a little warung and grab dinner or do those things that I needed to rely on Al for 3 weeks ago. So if you come here, definitely take the time to learn how to ride a scooter. Like, even if you just have to hire one, actually that's good advice. I hired a Scoopy for 6 months, but to be honest, I only rode it probably about 5 times. I just didn't feel comfortable enough riding it. But then when I worked out that I'm staying for another 2 years at least for another contract, I figured I need to do this. I need to get out there, I need to get a bike, and I need to be able to jump on it and get where I need to go without having to rely on Gojek, without having to get Alan to take me on the back of his bike. I just need to be able to have that independence to do that for myself. So I got myself a Fabio. Well, it's actually a Yamaha Fazio, which is really a light bike. It feels kind of like a toy, kind of. It's a lot lighter than the Scoopy that I had, which makes it a lot easier for me to turn around corners and that sort of stuff. And it's also, I'm like 5'2", so I am quite short for like a motorbike or a scooter. So I found with the Fazio, I could actually put my feet on the ground when we stop, which made me feel a lot safer than the NMAX, where I'm right on the tops of my tippy toes trying to balance the bike. And when there's a lot of traffic, it's stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, even with the bikes at times. So I really wanted to have something that gave me that security, that I could put both feet down if I needed to. And so when I got my Fabio, it's worked a treat, and I'm happy to ride around anywhere now. Do I miss him? No, I could do this by myself anytime, easy. But I'm counting down the days till he gets back. Which, I don't know, depending on how long this goes for, how long this, situation at home takes. Maybe I'll see him next week. Maybe I'll see him at Christmas. I don't know.
So Deb's not with me because she's working. That's the only reason. I've come here for a week. I'm going to clean up and get everything organised. I was going to pull the carpet out myself, but apparently you can't pull the carpet out yourself because the insurance mob have now said that it's a work zone and I'm not allowed to touch it. Crazy. Kids are allowed to run around here in the house, but I'm not allowed to touch the carpet and pull it up. But then again, it's a good thing I don't have to do it. So from here, I'll be here for a week, spend time with the kids, clean up and dry out all the things that I can dry out. Then I'm going to fly up to Townsville, visit my parents because I haven't seen them for quite a while. So I'm taking that opportunity to fly to Townsville, visit them, and then I'll fly back to Bali. So I hope this bit of information helps you. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a quick look at my room just so you know what I'm talking about. Never thought I'd be sharing my bedroom, but this is it after a couple of days after the builders have come in, ripped out all the wet carpets, and they're now trying to dry out all the walls and the floor.
If you found this video entertaining, helpful or inspiring, we'd love for you to consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that notification bell. Subscribing will ensure that you never miss out on any of our future content that we create, especially for you.